Sa Kalye, and Radio Veritas. Watch our uplifting reflections on Kapet Pandasal and The Word Exposed, as well as our acclaimed TV specials. Listen to the inspiring and soothing music of Jesuit Music Ministry's original artists as you read our spiritually enriching books. To learn more about jescom's mission of evangelization and education, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and our website, jescom.ph. To give a face to the faceless and a voice to the voiceless, that we may recognize Christ in them and hear His story in theirs. Jescom Music Ministry, your daily dose of inspiration. Follow jescom.ph on Spotify and Jescom Music on YouTube. We are also on iTunes and Deezer.
Join Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle as he delivers to us the preachings of the Sunday's Gospel that's awe-inspiring, yet easy to understand and appreciate. Let us all listen to the Word of God here on The Word Exposed on Air, only on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Radyo Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle.
Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay atenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng pera. Radyo Katipunan, Radyo Katipunan, Kawal ni Ignacio Katipunero sugo, todo sa kayod, punong at tulong. Lipad na Blue Eagle, galing giting at gigil. Blue and white, one big fight. Radyo Katipunan, Radyo
Radyo Katipunan is now online. See our live feed on facebook.com/Radyo Katipunan. Check out our Instagram and our Twitter at Radyo Katipunan and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Radyo Katipunan FM for more exclusive content.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ear.
Do you long for a good spiritual read? Or for literature that not only feeds the mind, but nourishes the soul as well? Do you want to be inspired, feel positive and hopeful about life? Then read The Windhover, the official magazine of the Jesuits in the Philippines. Written by Jesuits and their lay partners, The Windhover features real stories about the Jesuits and their various ministries. Be inspired. Be blessed. Subscribe to The Windhover. For inquiries, call the Philippine Jesuit Aid Association at telephone numbers 426-6001, locals 4890 or 4892. Once again, Philippine Jesuit Aid Association, telephone numbers 426-6001, locals 4890 or 4892.
Radyo Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle.
sa pagbabalitang tumpa at tama. Buhay atenista sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng pera. Punong at tulong, ipagka Blue Eagle, galing hiding at tigil, blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, katipunan, radyo, katipunan, katipunan.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
If it's entertainment you crave,
Catch us on New Wave
surfing through the latest on our shores.
every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m.
See you there! Hello everyone! Good afternoon! Coming to you live on radyo-katipunan 87.9 FM via Zoom. I'm Max, and when it comes to what's happening, I'll serve you the facts. So please, take this hour to sit back and relax because this is New Wave. What a week it's been. It's finals week, or as I call it, the end of finals month. So imagine this time next week, my fellow students, we will be free. The weather isn't so summery, but I'm just looking forward to finally getting to rest a little bit. And you know, I say it a lot, but what better way to rest than to watch movies, and maybe for some of you and my course mates, make movies as well. So today we have another guest from Archipelago, and if you need a refresher, Archipelago is an avenue that offers premier online learning experiences and opportunities from established experts in the creative industry. So today, one of our guests is one of these experts. So, his professional media work began as early as his sophomore year in college, and since then he spent 30 years in various fields of the industry. Alongside this, he has been teaching in De La Salle College of St. Benilde for 20 years, where he was also the founder and former chairperson of the digital filmmaking program. He told me before this, some cultures call him Sauron because he sees everything, and we're going to find out why later. So additionally, he was also the former vice head of the National Committee on Cinema of the National Commission for Culture and the Arts, NCCA, and since 2011 has been collaborating with the NCCA and the Department of Education towards the development of the training regulations in video and film production. So please welcome Mr. Jag Garcia. Hi, Sir Jag. Are you here? There you are.
Hi there. Hi, everyone. Hi, everybody there in Radio World. Thanks for having me, Max. Hi, everybody.
As I said, welcome to the other side of the world, the other side of the Bifrost, whatever you like to call it, since you're from LaSalle. So,
well, we usually refer to you guys as the other school.
The feeling is mutual. So
diba?
I guess
it's
from
the
other
them,
school.
diba?
Yeah, from other school to other school, the school that must not be named.
Yeah,
welcome.
Exactly. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining us. So I think people are curious about your nickname. Let's start with that. How did you get your nickname, the All-Seeing Eye in Benilde?
Oh, that's that nickname.
Yes.
It was by the time I had founded the film program in Benilde. I'd already been teaching in Benilde for quite a few years. You kind of get used to these things as teaching film, video production. And when the program started, we were pretty small. We were I had a handful of kids. We became pretty close because I knew everyone. Everyone had to pass through me.
Of course.
And aside, of course, from knowing what was going on in their lives through social media, because everything was being posted online at the time, my years of experience was, I was catching things on screen that they never even thought I would see. A reflection here and there, a hotspot here and there that they didn't know was even existed, or I knew what problems they were going through. Things like, okay, wait, stop. This thing here, this is what happened on set. And they're like, how'd you know that? And so, I said, well, I know all, I see all, and, I am omniscient, I am omnipresent, I am alpha and the omega, and all that. So yeah, it just went from there. It just evolved from there. And, I do love my kids a lot. So
of course,
we stuck with it, and we kept it going all through my stay as the chair. There, that's the ugly story behind that. Yeah.
That's the tea. Okay, so this year we've seen the world opening up a little bit more. So what have you been up to in the recent weeks?
I did a workshop this morning. I ran a workshop this morning. I had an episode of one of my workshops with Archipelago last Saturday. Actually, the past couple of years have been pretty busy.
That's good.
When the lockdowns first happened, I don't know if anybody here still remembers what it was like to see other people in the flesh. But back then in the ancient times, we used to go to school face to face, right?
Yep.
And
legend now.
when the first lockdowns happened, at the risk of sounding like a total butt, I had to catch myself there, because
yes.
Father Jesuit is watching me.
No worries.
I was one of a minority at the time that was actually ready for online classes.
Oh wow, that's good.
In the sense that
Yeah.
Because my stint already with Benilde, I was a technology coach. I was actually helping transition already a lot of faculty even before the pandemic towards technology supported learning. We had a new learning management system, all of that.
Yeah.
So it was not a gigantic leap for me.
Oh.
So that allowed me to help and to coach and to do further training for my co-teachers, co-faculty.
Yes.
Especially those that were having a more difficult time.
Mm-hmm.
And then just went from there. I would get invitations for workshops in online delivery. That was the early part of the pandemic. Online delivery, transitioning to online, using technology for teaching, etc., etc. And then when the world kind of got used to this idea, it just continued.
Yes, it did.
The film workshops that I used to run face to face just moved platform, and of course classes started to happen regularly. So it's been busy.
Wow.
I had to write in me and my team, we had to write modules for the DepEd because they didn't know the first thing to do. They were literally caught unawares of what to do.
It was a surprise,
to say the least.
Yeah.
So we had to come in and develop modules. We had to come in and train their teachers. All of these things had to then shed all of. So it's been really busy, but I found the time to finish an old film and to create a new one.
Wow!
During the pandemic.
Wow. Okay. King of time management, because everything you said, with the adapting to teaching and doing all of this online, and you still had time to do those films. That's pretty cool. So I'll get to that later, but I kind of want to ask a little more about everything you've been doing online. So I'm seeing this, everything you said about the transition to teaching online, because oh my goodness, being a student online or being a teacher online, it's so different. It doesn't translate the same way when the teacher's right in front of you and through the screen, or at least that's how it is for me as a student. But what about in terms of filmmaking? Were you part of the group that did Zoom films or things like that, or did you have your own ways of making films over the pandemic?
Well, the first film, the older film that I finished was post-production. That was edit. That was all.
Oh, okay.
But the new film that I created is actually an animation.
Yes,
it's an animated film. So I did most of the production work on my own here at home with the laptop. But everything else was coordinated with my team, my musical scores, my sound designers, my assistant directors. All of these guys were all done online. And ironically, the only people that I've actually ever met in person were my assistant directors.
Wow.
Everyone else in the production team. Oh, and my editor pala.
Okay.
Everyone else in the production team, my sound designers, the lady who actually developed the original story, all online. I have not met these people in person. I could literally walk or sit across from them at the mall and I would never know it was them. So that was a challenge, but also it was something.
Sure.
It kind of changes your perspective on what can and cannot be done when all you do is kind of break out of that limitation. And I'll segue back to the whole teaching thing, no? Na a lot of teachers, I'll even dare say most teachers, and students na rin. Sige na, let's throw that gauntlet down, di ba?
Sure.
Did not adjust well to the start of online classes, not because they were unable to, but because they refused to.
Oh.
And when I say refuse to, it's not so much I won't. No, it's not naman ganon. It's more of wait, how do I teach my class? What will I do? I can't listen to this teacher all day on the it was too many people carrying the face-to-face modality into Zoom, which just doesn't work.
I see.
So
I agree with you.
It's been only over the past year and a half, almost 2 years of this whole online thing, that have you noticed that you're kind of starting to get the hang of it?
Yes.
Because even the teachers now are starting to get the hang of it. Even how you teach, even how you talk to your students online,
I agree.
diba? Could not be that same boring teacher. And of course, yes, if you're like a 150-year-old teacher and you've been teaching that way for the past 200 years, it's not going to be easy to transition and be bubbly online. Diba?
Of course.
If you're the most boring thing on the planet na nga in live, you're not going to be the most exciting thing on the planet in online, diba? So there was that, but people adjusted, people fixed. You had to use the term put up or shut up, diba? There was no changing it for that first solid year. There was no escaping it. So you had to adjust, and I think that's been good in general for most of education, because then you're kind of realizing, whether you like it or not, that there's a lot of stuff pala that we were teaching and learning in class that was not actually really necessary.
Yeah.
And when I say necessary, diba, you guys are in a semestral system. You're at
we are.
what's it, 20 weeks, right? You have a 20-week.
I'm not sure about the week count, but we're 2 semesters.
Two semesters.
Yes.
Now, Philippine standards, it's approximately 20 weeks, diba? We're on trimestral system on 14. And the tendency for a teacher is, let's fill up these weeks.
Of course.
Let's fill up, because it makes sense. You want to max, but no, fill up is different from maximize.
Yes.
That's why you get a lot of classes na parang, why are we still here? Why am I learning this? What are we doing here? I'm too old to be learning this thing. I learned this thing in high school. I learned this in grade school. Why are we? Because there is this thing na I have to fill up the gaps. A very genuine fear, whether imposed by your school or imposed by yourself as a teacher, that you have to fill in your class time. But when you got online and school started to say, this 14-week term, you only give 12 weeks of material, so you have wiggle room. For 20 weeks, you only give 18 or 16 weeks worth of material, so you have wiggle room. So you're forced to cut out the fat. Then you start realizing that, hindi rin naman pala talo yung mga students. They didn't. In fact, a lot of students responded better because you're not being bombarded and overwhelmed with things you could have done without.
Yes, that's right.
So that's my thing.
That was a very refreshing take from a teacher, actually. It's my first time hearing it put into words. And then only then I realized, it did change this way. And a lot of people are applying that. So, okay, let's go back to your origin story for a bit before we talk about your most recent project. So as I said, even before we were on air, welcome to the other school. So from the beginning, you chose communication and applied media studies as your course. So,
Yes.
why did you choose this course, and how does it help you in your career in filmmaking?
Okay. Whew. In the very beginning, in the olden times, I wanted to be a pilot.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Okay.
That's in fact,
Very
you know,
different.
if it was still a possibility and all of that, I still would be. In fact,
That's
give
cool.
me flying classes now and I'll take it in a heartbeat. That's
Never too
it's
late.
simple as that. Yeah. It's that. I wanted to be a pilot. But at the time when I was in high school, the only real viable career path for a pilot in the Philippines was either you enter the military, which for lazy ass me who will not wake up at 5 in the morning, that was not an option, and going to the PAL flying school. And the PAL flying school required a bachelor's degree before you entered. So they were not a college. They were just the flying school. So I had to take a college. I had to go to college. I couldn't go from high school to flying school right away. And my high school, when I went to high school, they had aptitude tests and all of that before you graduated from high school. And my aptitude tests were showing that I had an ability and affinity for public speaking, communications, public relations. Basically what I'm doing now, talking.
Yes.
And so I figured, okay, instead of getting some easy class in college and then passing it and then going to PAL, I'll probably do something and have a backup, take a course that has a job opportunity afterwards, diba? And then go to flight school. At least if that doesn't pan out, then I have a job, diba?
Yes,
I mean,
that makes
versus
sense.
what were the other courses that were options also just to pass college, things like philosophy, literature, parang okay, diba?
Yeah.
You know, so I went into college, and like I told you before we started the show, diba? I did some theater in college as well, and I was in my
Yes, you
freshman
did.
year, and the rehearsals going on, and I was part of the production team already. And so they're rehearsing, and I stepped out of the rehearsal venue. And outside of the rehearsal venue, there were a couple of upperclassmen that were shooting a short film for their project. And they said, "Hey, you're with the guild, din, diba? You're with the Harlequin also." It's like, "Yeah, you want to help out?" And then your comrades, diba? They go, "Yeah, you want to help?"
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not doing anything now. They don't need me inside, diba? They're rehearsing the line.
Very universal experience.
Diba?
Yeah.
And so I helped out with their film project, and I never looked back.
Nice.
That was literally as cheesy as it may sound, I had fallen in love with the production process.
Yeah.
And there you go. So same friends that I met, those upperclassmen became people that I put up my studio with. I was a freshman then. By the time I was in my second year, we had put up a studio, our own studio.
Amazing.
And by the time
Yeah.
I was midway through my second year or entering my third year of college, we had TV shows, we had corporate clients,
Wow.
and I had not looked back since.
Amazing. That's so cool. Things in a way kind of fell into place to lead you here. So, yes. Okay. So, quick context actually as to how comm is taught in Ateneo. This is for the next question. We have 4 tracks. We have journalism, ad and PR, film, and media studies. You have to take everything and then choose 2 to focus on. And my 2 are filmmaking and media studies. And that's very similar to your path right now. So I really see media studies and film as 2 things that are very intertwined because in a sense, one can inform the other. So what about from your perspective as a media expert? How would you describe the relationship between film and media studies?
Okay, diba? As a media expert, diba? Engage imposter syndrome. Okay.
Oh, okay. Let's go.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
You can do this.
Obviously, yes,
Yeah.
they're very closely related, right?
Yes. Super.
In general, when you usually say media, it's usually broadcast media. But that line has, over the past few years, become almost non-existent. Free TV as we know it, free TV as I grew up with it, and as your professors taught you, is practically non-existent.
Yes.
The fact that you can have a mega corporation, a mega network like ABS-CBN shut down, and they basically pretty much said, "Okay," diba?
Yes.
They literally said, "Okay," and then went on doing
Yeah.
their thing.
They adapted.
Diba? Is testament to how growingly obsolescent that concept of what that concept that we grew up with has changed.
Yes.
That's one. The second is, while television is usually given the blame is put on television for how our society is today and reflecting our society, I would actually put the blame more solidly on cinema.
Oh, okay.
Why? It's easy to blame television for the mass effect on society because nga
More
naman it is a
accessible.
mass medium.
Yes.
But the thing kasi with I don't have data. Please don't ask me for data.
No problem.
I'm
We don't
not a
need
com
statistics.
researcher.
It's okay.
But I would even say that the effect of one film on an audience member is stronger than the little bits of television that you get. Television is long term, but cinema can change you immediately. The reason why it's not as heavily to blame as, for example, TV is because TV is shotgun. Ang daming tinatamaan sabay-sabay.
Yes.
Cinema, you have to watch it to get it. But the reason why cinema is extremely powerful is because the very nature of cinema is to immerse you into a world, into a reality that is created for you. Now, how does this differ from watching a TV show or TV series? When I'll ask you, and might as well ask your audience out there,
Sure.
right? Do you still watch TV? Do you know what a TV is? Real TV, ha? I mean, free TV, provinciano, and that stuff, that kind of TV. It's okay if it's no.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. It's Netflix and YouTube now, lately.
Sige. Try to remember the last time that you watched TV, okay?
High school.
Or pretend na lang. But sige, theoretically, when was the last time you just watched TV? Listen to the question. When was the last time you just watched TV?
As early as grade school.
No, not the age.
Not an age?
That's all you did. Watch.
I don't know. I don't think I have an answer for this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because when you're watching TV, what are you doing? You're eating, you're on your phone, you're looking somewhere else. When the commercial hits, what do? You run. You go to the bathroom, you go to the kitchen, you pick up your phone.
Yes.
Television is designed for you to be experienced while you're doing something else.
Oh, okay.
But cinema
That's a very interesting point.
is designed. Okay, I'm not talking about the Netflix and the watch your thing on YouTube or your laptop or your phone.
Yes.
But it's designed for you to sit in a dark room looking in only one direction.
With no breaks.
With no breaks. And that is why you will rarely cry at a TV show. You will rarely get scared when they're showing a horror movie on TV. But you can have your favorite film, your favorite rom-com, your favorite drama film, your favorite horror movie. And the exact same moment that the filmmaker wants you to jump, you will jump. If he or she wants you to cry in 3, 2, 1, and your tears will start to cry each and every time. Because you become immersed in that reality. And because you're immersed in that reality, everything that is on that screen is the truth.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
That's
so
media studies for you. And that's why it's such an amazing thing to mix.
It is.
I mean, colonial, what's post-colonial theories, and then Marxism and all of that, and then match that with media, and then you're going to see how well manipulated you are. And then start to feel dirty and start to scrub yourself in the bathroom like that.
No, but you really see its power, actually, especially when you present it like that. You see how powerful media can be as a tool, right? Especially today, and it's accessed on so many platforms. So first, I want to say hello to Tita Twinkie Lagdameo. She says hello to both of us.
Hi, Tita
And
Twinkie.
she said, I haven't watched traditional TV in a million years, maybe 20 years, except K-drama. Same, but K-drama for me at least is all on Netflix, and I think for some people it's all on View. So for those who say, this is Tita Twinkie from Archipelago, which we will talk about in a bit. Because like right now, I want to ask another academic question.
Go.
So a while ago, you mentioned your film. I know that it's called iLabyrinth. It's an animation that you developed while teaching digital filmmaking in Benilde. And if I recall correctly, it was first brought up in a film production elective for non-film students in Benilde, which I find so interesting. So I want to ask about this elective first. For those who are not planning to have careers in film, what can filmmaking teach them?
That's a really good question.
Thank you.
Okay. The idea for a video elective, a video production elective, wasn't the hottest thing when it was first introduced. And this student of mine who developed the story for iLabyrinth is an architect. It's an architecture major.
Yes,
She could be an
yes.
architect. So it wasn't exactly the most exciting thing that the students or many of the teachers saw at the time. But that was also before suddenly everybody and his uncle is making some sort of video. And the medium, this motion picture video film medium has become the thing. Whether it's a TikTok, it's an animated GIF, it's a graphic, whatever.
Yes.
Even a walkthrough of a building is already the medium. So what an elective in video production teaches you is how to use the medium, how to effectively use that medium to get your objective done. Sorry if it sounds mercenary, pero if you're an architect, for instance, and you want to sell the concept of a building to a client, diba? You want to do your obra maestra, you want to be the next Leandro Locsin. Convince them. And how do you convince them? You don't stand in front of them and start making drama about how wonderful your idea is. Make them experience it. And we go back to my previous answer. How do you make them experience it? You experience it through film. You build them a world that they become immersed in, and that becomes their truth. Suddenly, next thing you know, they're chucking out money to have your building built. So
Of course, yes.
the medium the medium has become invisible to this generation. And when I say it's invisible, this is not you don't open up a camera and say, "Ooh, wow, ang galing." No, it's not like that. My 6-year-old daughter the other day edited a video together, and she just showed, look what I made. She took photos of she had her tablet, she took photos of her ate's pet bird, she edited it into video. Yung gano, like nothing. We never taught her a single shot. We never say, oh, you use this app.
Amazing.
She's figured it out.
Wow.
So why, when you think about it, video production should not just be as basic already a subject as
actually, it's
reading and writing. It's getting to that point.
It is. It is. Like lately in school, even before I took up my comm subjects, like even for other subjects like history, science, they already tell you like, okay, you have this video project. So you really do need the basic knowledge. And then like, I guess for my generation where we didn't have things like video editing as young as 6, it came when maybe we were like 12 or starting our teen years. It was still a bit of a trudge to learn because it was still a bit newer. But anyway, back to this film, iLabyrinth. It's one of your first animated project, and it even reached like film festivals here and abroad. So what was this experience like working with animation, I guess? How does it differ from working in real life? Except, of course, for the fact that they're not real people you're directing, but also this whole concept of animation and drawings.
Well, aside from the fact that multiple times throughout the production process, I wanted to chuck my laptop out the window. Well, it's extremely different. And it was during this process, and I keep on saying this, mad respect for animators.
For sure.
It is a thankless, it is a, Benilde has an animation and a film program, right?
Oh,
and
yes.
for two formats, for two media that are practically identical, since both use the motion picture medium, you will not find two more different personalities in students. And I appreciated that even more for a fact when I was doing my own animation. Film majors are like me. They're loud, they're obnoxious, they're like they don't stop. Para kami may ADHD lahat. Diba? It's like ADHD is a prereq for entering film school. Animators, the animation students are the most quiet. They're not nerdy, huh? In fact, they're probably the most bizarre looking. I mean, colored
they're
hair.
They're very focused, actually.
But they're so focused. Right? And it was doing this work over, 6 months that I was like, my God, it could get frustrating. And probably my greatest takeaway from animation, from making an animation, was that there were no excuses. And it came from both sides of the coin. As a filmmaker, when you're doing live film, for example, there would be things like, I cannot get that shot because it's too expensive, it's too dangerous, it's impossible, I don't have the equipment, I don't have the camera, blah, 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 blah.
But
so you have animation. In animation, you don't have an excuse like that because you can get the shot that you want. I need a close-up that looks exactly like this. And you can get that shot. And that was also the great thing about it. I need this shot. I need it to do this. I need this, and it will do that. That the system will allow you to do it because it's drawn. Everything does not exist in the real world. Everything can be done. Oh, I want it to be up in the air for exactly this amount of time, which would be physically impossible in real life. Mga ganon. So it was both frustrating and enlightening. It was therapeutic. It was self-reflexive. How many times I thought, why am I doing this? But there it was. It helped a lot because there would be weeks I would not touch it. And then there would be weeks that I'd be working on it every day for hours on end. And it helped break the monotony of quarantine life.
Yeah, I'm sure. So this is something that you did with your students. Like you said earlier, it was an architecture student who came up with the story. And then I read that all of the other students involved were also from Benilde. So, and a while ago, you also said that you only met a handful of these people in real life. So I guess my question is, how would you keep collaborations? Because I see that you have a good relationship with your students, but I guess filmmaker to filmmaker, how can you make collaborations healthy? How can you keep them healthy, especially when all of you could have different visions? Sometimes the writer's vision could be a little different from the director's. So how do you all meet halfway? Or how would you do it?
Well, I am the director, so they follow me. No, no, it's the only real difference is, especially in that work aspect, is that we're talking now via Zoom.
Okay.
But you still have to work with each other, which means, yes, I will accept. I will listen to your suggestions. Let's say if you're a production designer, you tell me. You tell me what you're seeing. You tell me what's working for you. Tell me why you're doing this. And I'll listen. If it makes sense to me, go or do it running with it. If it doesn't make sense to me, then it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
It's ganun din naman eh. In fact, there is a I think this online medium, this mediated conversation has helped collaborations further. Kasi if we were meeting face to face, 6 of us, 8 of us in one room, and you are gonna feel, oh, I'm not gonna say anything because he might get mad, or I'm shy, or this other guy, obnoxious guy, is just speaking too much and he won't shut up. It never gets out, diba? But here, because it's mediated, or sorry I don't have my internet is low, I won't turn on my camera. It allows you to talk without being seen.
That's true.
So I think it's an adjustment. It's just like teaching and learning. It's an adjustment. But I was able to work with these guys, and especially my sound designers, and I am not a sound person talaga. So it was, I had to follow up, hey, kamusta na? How are we doing? I have a deadline. I'm coming up already. How are we doing? And then, send files back and forth.
Yes.
I didn't have to hover over his shoulder and say, oh, you put that there, you put that there. And people got to work.
Right. And I think, like, to add to that, like you said, you didn't have to hover over your shoulder. There's this new boundary, I guess, that was added because you're not in the same room. And sometimes that really helps you work because, like, you can some people can do things in their own time, depending on the job also.
Yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
There is that. I mean, I have a client now who I've never met.
Yes.
Basically.
That world was opened up
Diba?
also.
And she basically says, oh, we need this. Send me your code. I send the code. They sign it. I get to work. I submit. And it happens. And if I need something, send them an email. What has been affected, hindi naman pwedeng sabihin that nothing was affected, right? It's
yes,
timing.
of course.
So if I was hovering over your shoulder, I can get things done immediate. Since we're not in the same space, then there is a time element now that gets to be factored in, a turnaround time. But from me, as a writer, for example, for this client, I'm actually happy that that she's not on my back 24/7. Diba? She'll send me an email and I can say, because she cannot see my face when I say it, diba?
Of course.
I can say, look, I'll give it to you in 3 days. Not, I can't give it to you tomorrow. I'll give it to you in 3 days. I'm currently out of town, which actually could easily translate to, I'm in the middle of an episode of Netflix. So, diba? Leave me alone.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Of course. Okay, so last question. As a director, would you say there are technicalities when you learn how to direct? Or is there a way people learn how to direct? Or is it something that you can just do? Since
There are things that you have to learn. There's things that you learn. There are principles, there are techniques.
There are technicalities.
Yes. Cinema is a language.
Yes.
Okay, it's a language.
Yes,
so because cinema is about 130 years old already, and because we as modern humans have been exposed to it, almost bombarded with it since day one, we know how to understand the language. The the difference between somebody with a phone camera and a filmmaker is the same difference as somebody being able to speak and spell and somebody who can write poetry.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? That's the usage of the language. And syempre, there are good poets and there are bad poets and there are amateur poets and there are some people that are just poets. Diba? So you do have to learn the language. And what you learn beyond the language becomes now the poetry that you write into your films. Yes, as a director, there are techniques, there are books, there are principles, but there's also gut feel. There is just some natural talent. I don't even want to pretend that I have a natural talent. I've had students that I am not ashamed to admit are beyond a shadow of a doubt, some of the most brilliant young minds I've ever seen worked with. Just amazing. I've worked with just profound geniuses as well, and I've also seen and worked with people that were just hands down idiots. Pero director, ha? So again, it's a language you learn. When you learn how to use the language, then you get to move up. But some are just really better than others, and some learned it formally in school or books, and some just have it. Some people just know, and I still feel like I have to learn so much, and from them. Yes, from books and all that, but more from them. That's why I love having conversations with filmmakers and writers and all of that. I learn more from those conversations that they learn from me.
Wow, yeah.
Things like that.
Nice. Now, speaking of learning, you have an Archipelago course. Now, for those who've just come in, hello. A reminder that Archipelago is a platform and avenue that offers premier online learning experiences and opportunities from established experts just like Mr. Jack Garcia himself. And to show a little bit more about that before we dive into it, here's a quick video from Archipelago. The video has not yet started playing on my end, so let's wait for it for a bit.
Lynn, play video. Lynn, play video.
It's not Lynn who's going to play the video.
It's not Lynn.
But
Who's ano?
yes.
Who's it? Miguel?
Hello,
Audrey?
James. Please play the video.
James?
Well,
James.
either
play
way,
video.
I'll start asking you about your course anyway, because it's about production management. Oh, there it is.
Filmmaking today is big. From gigantic Hollywood superhero blockbusters all the way to tiny little short films that you see on Vimeo and YouTube. Anybody and everybody today has the capability to make a film, and that is great. And with the way filmmaking is nowadays, it's easy to see how anyone would want to become the director. But let me tell you a little secret. Directors may have that great idea, but if you want to make your film a reality, you need a production manager. You see, over the past 30 years of my professional experience in TV, film, advertising, live events, and corporate filmmaking, what I've come to realize is that the biggest, the brightest creative idea, creative vision is not going to be enough without the control of a focused and level-headed production manager. Production managers make things happen. In this course, you will learn what it takes to manage a production, big and small. You'll gain some insight on production management's key elements, such as personnel, budget, scheduling, locations, and risk. And you're going to get some insights and tools that will help you make things happen. So if you're the type of creative that likes to manage people and places, have a head for numbers, and you're icy cool under pressure, you definitely have what it takes. My name is Jack Garcia, and at Archipelago, we take you to the next level.
Archipelago, go the next level.
You explain production management actually. One of the last classes I took on site was a film class, and one of my last roles in the film class was being the production manager. And I think from everything I tried in that film class, that was what I had the hardest time with. So tell us a little bit more about your course on production management. Like, let's go into some specifics. How does the class work?
The class on Archipelago is a video on demand course, which means that once you enroll in it, you will be given access to a series of videos, materials, templates, all of these things, which you learn at your own pace. And that's the format for this particular course. So you can take it anytime, anywhere, and there's enough material that's provided in the courseware, which means you don't even have to wait for an actual film to start managing it. I actually wrote a short screenplay that is included in the course, and that's what you produce.
Oh, nice.
So you don't have to come to the course.
Yeah.
And say, oh wait, I need a script, or I need a movie to produce, or you're just thinking hypothetically, which sounds okay, but it's different when you're actually given the material. So I provide that among other things. And yeah, like the video said, the short video, the one of the really guapo guy talking kanina.
With a familiar background.
Yeah, that, diba?
Yeah.
It's really insights into not how a production works, but what a production manager should be consciously aware of. And it's understanding, obviously, for instance, for example, we're talking about budget. It's not, obviously you need money. I mean, there is always a money component. But in this course, we're not just talking about cash money. We're talking about resources. We're talking about funding. We're talking about ways in which your required resources to produce the film can be maximized and stretched. We talk about people And oh yeah, you can't make a film without people. Yeah, you cannot make a film without people. But the biggest problem, actually, filmmaking would be extremely simple and would be really this amazing and great experience, except for one thing: people. Once you start involving people in things, I know I'm very cynical, but I'm really pragmatic. In fact, you can ask all my students, during our film fundamentals class, lesson number one, literally lesson number one, is people suck. And
noted.
Noted, but and half the class is laughing, and half of them are going, the ones who are cynical like me, right? And the rest are laughing, and within 2 or 3 weeks, the whole class is already up. You're right, you're right. You got that.
You understand.
It's because people are a variable. It can be as simple as na late ako, na traffic ako, I woke up late, my alarm didn't go off, to okay guys, we're breaking for lunch, here's the food and everything, and then somebody's gonna say, yeah, I'm vegan eh. It's like, why didn't you tell me? Diba?
Yes.
So it's always gonna be a person, a human being that is going to be there. So if on the very first day of the course, if the very first day of production, the very first day of film school, you get that in your head, everything else follows. Because now you know, think of it as a production manager. Now that I know that people suck by nature, now I know that, okay, because people suck, someone will be late. So this is how I fix my schedule.
Yes.
Somebody, I have 10 people in my crew. Somebody's going to bring a yaya. Crap, now I need 11 people. So I have extra food. Because I know that people don't say things, I am going to ask you, are you vegan? Are you halal? Are you, do you have dietary requirements? You don't like chicken? Do you like your beef to be cooked a certain way? Diba?
Yes.
So all of these things now come into mind.
Yes.
And that's how you manage a production. You don't manage a production on Excel spreadsheets. You manage it by running things as they happen. And that's what you learn in the class. Ta-da!
Nice, actually. That all of those mindsets can be applied to a lot more, not just film production. Now, you mentioned that it's VOD, and I know some other Archipelago teachers, they have like a live aspect or like a place where people can ask you questions in real time. Does your course have this as well?
Yes, we have a community chat per course.
Okay.
So you sign up, and I drop in every now and then and answer questions. Archipelago is also going to be organizing community days type of thing. I forgot the formal term. So if you took the course last month and somebody took it 3 months ago, we can all still come together and share and meet each other. There's still a human aspect. There's still that people connection aspect. That's part of the whole program.
That's good. What's the output like for a class like this? Like, do your students have to show you anything, like any script notes or anything like that?
Well, for VOD, you can finish the course without showing me your stuff.
Okay.
That's the long and short of it. But there is an output. Lots and lots and lots of paper.
Okay.
It's forms. It's basically building together a production book. The whole VOD. If you do all the activities in the VOD as prescribed, you will come up with a production book, and you will be ready to produce that film.
Nice. All right. So, who should take your class?
You.
Me. Yes,
and
I'm
your
already
audience.
thinking about it. I'm already thinking about it, actually. That would be very nice to do over the summer. Okay. So,
oh my God, we just started classes. Our summer doesn't exist.
Oh, right. Because your schedule's very different from ours, no? With the trimester setup.
Yeah, diba? Our summer break is you're strapping on pa lang your bathing suit tapos na klase na agad. So it's that type of thing. Now okay, who should take it?
Who?
Who?
Who should
Actually,
take it?
anyone and oh God, I hate blanketing an audience. But if you are even considering going into the realm of production, whether you are a TikToker or a humor or a legitimate filmmaker, or thinking of, or if you're always the person that your classmates nominate and elect as the production manager because you're the most responsible person in class.
The perpetual group leader.
The perpetual group
in
leader. In
Ateneo, our Beatles.
Is that what they're called?
Yes, that's what they're called for us.
Yeah. So that's this is the kind of course you take. Like you said, the content is really something that carries over into so many different other aspects, not just film production. So you really get that kind of perspective of pragmatic cynicism, I guess, that you face life and you're looking at things that, okay, look, this is what's going to happen. Because if in production, if anything can go wrong, it actually already has gone wrong. But the only reason why you don't feel it is because the production manager solved that problem before it did.
Yes.
So if you're feeling it, that means somebody screwed up somewhere.
Right.
And that's if you want to be I want to be a director, take a production management course. I want to be a film writer, take a production management course, because everything you learn there is going to go into your field, and then you get to learn that, oh, I'm a production designer, that's all I want to do. Yeah, how does the production manager think? You might want sets, Waterworld scale sets or Star Wars scale sets, but your production manager will have something else to say about it.
That's true. I guess one good thing from this class also will be teaching you how to be prepared, and as you said, how to be calm under pressure. Something a lot of us need. Okay, so before I invite the students to ask their questions, invite people to take your class in your own words that may not have been used in the video.
Take my class in my own words that may have not been used in the video.
Funny.
Yan, pilosopo, no?
Yeah.
I'd like to invite everybody out there to check out Archipelago on archipelago.archipelago with a K. Archipelago.com. Check out my course on production management. I promise you it's going to be fun. Or if it's not, at least it's going to be really informative. Like we said here, it's something not just specific to film. If you're going to theater, events, all of these things, there will be nuances in your desired field. Even in banking, this is something that falls into play. But we don't talk about banking. Check out the course, and if you're done with the production management course, or you want to check out something else, there are like a whole lot of other courses available on Archipelago, in music, in other film courses, film writing, music writing, composition, and we have mentors that are like out of this world. We have Noy Volante, we have Jim Paredes, running courses. I mean, my God, diba? To have these people as your mentors. So there you go. Do check it out.
And maybe design your own course by taking everything you wanted to take in one go. My dad is in the audience. Take his course on music production. Search that up. Gino Cruz.
Hi, Dad.
Music production. Hi, Daddy. So, okay. Now to invite the students who have been patiently waiting to ask their questions. So let's start with Lynn. So hello, Lynn. Please unmute, turn on your mic, and ask your question. Hello. We can hear you.
Hello, yes. Mr. Jag,
yes.
I'm this, adult still contemplating what career I'm gonna take and all that. So I was, wondering what advice can you give to those who are, still contemplating on, whether to pursue film or animation?
Sorry.
Do your thing. Do your thing. Okay. It sounds so generic, diba? But once upon a time, if you wanted to be an animator, you had to be an animator. You had to go through a certain path, and those paths were very limited. If you wanted to go into film, you had to work primarily on these kinds of films because those were the only avenues. do your thing. The borders, the divisions between broadcast and film, animation and live action, corporate and short films, advertising and short filmmaking have become more and more blurred every day. So build your thing. Do you like drawing but you don't like animating? Then it's not difficult to find an opportunity, a media opportunity that will allow you to literally draw but not animate. Get mo? If I like film but I hate making halubilo with the masses. Okay, then there are films that are not mass-based, for instance. You can work in international co-productions. You can work in you can work in film distribution, for instance. The opportunities have actually just grown, not because dumami yung jobs, but because the lines that separate these individual jobs have disappeared. So you can be a filmmaker that does a little animation here and there. You can be in advertising or be an advertising major, for instance, but then go into short filmmaking because of branded films. You can have gone to film school, for instance, and still find your place. Like a lot of my students have found their place in advertising. They've found their place in corporate filmmaking, all of these things. But what's important, I think, is to understand what the medium does. More and more, in a world where everybody is a content producer. You post on Facebook and it's content, right? What separates the wheat from the chaff? What separates the good from the bad? It's the understanding of the medium. Again, anybody can make a film, but then how come there are good filmmakers? Because they know the medium. They know how to tell stories. They know how to maximize it. They know what it can do and what it cannot do. So by wielding that, by really knowing that, then you're able to really find your place and move on. Not start in that place, but to really go forward, because then you become a filmmaker, then you become an animator, then you become a content developer. Yun. Pwede na sa advice, Lynn? That sound
Lynn,
legit?
are you still here? There.
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay.
And that's very good advice. Like, really good advice. There's a lot of wisdom in that. So, next, Audrey, please unmute. And you can turn on your camera as well, so it feels like we're in a conversation. Hello, Audrey? Okay, we can hear you.
Audrey.
I'm so sorry, my laptop does not have a webcam. So
No worries.
Okay.
That's so 1998.
I'm sorry.
I'm teasing you lang, but sige lang.
Okay, so as someone who is studying in multimedia studies, I have immersed myself in the various mediums of digital technology and all that, and that includes 3D animation. So I'm kind of interested in animation now, and you mentioned you made a film, I Labyrinth. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I'm sorry, I am uncultured. Okay. But I would like to ask your creative process of making the film. Is it
what's this? It begins with a flash of brilliance, followed by months and months of depression and despair, and then finished. Ta-da! No. It's wow. What is my creative process?
Flash of brilliance. I like that. You're just struck by lightning.
Carrying
the idea, right? Yeah.
Okay. If it's okay with you, Audrey, I'm going to tell you na lang the story of how the project came about. Okay. So I'm teaching this elective to some architecture and interior design students. Syempre, the class is not a heavy class because these kids have more important things to do, and it's really not their core competency. Then one of my students sends me a PM. She sends me a private message and said, "Sir, can I ask a favor? Because I'm joining this silent book festival, the silent book competition. Silent book, picture book, walang words. and I don't know who to ask or to consult about it. Can I ask you to look through my story? It's like, okay. So she sent me her story and she sent me pegs of her artwork, and I fell in love with it. There was that moment of inspiration. There was that flash of brilliance that, and I said, wow, this is really good stuff. Then I gave her my input. Then I said, Devon, if it's okay with you, when this whole thing is done, I would like to collaborate with you to turn this into an animated film. And she said yes. So fast forward, we finished the trimester. I think this was all happening the third term. So this about this month, Feb, March. What month is it? No, crap, it's May, right?
It's May.
So sorry, so this happened second term. So it was happening Feb, March, April, that thereabouts. So finished the term, and yeah, that was always there. That was always floating around, but nothing happened. And then, so one day I sat down and I wrote the screenplay. I sat on my laptop and I wrote it, and I was done. And then I sent it to her, and she said, "Oh my God, I love it." You know, and then she sends me the material. She sends me the artwork, and I started working. So it's a lot of starts and stops. You know, the process. I needed, like I said earlier, I needed time off. There would be weeks I would not work on it. There would be weeks or days that I would just touch it a little and then move on. And then there would be weeks where literally that was all I was doing. I would eat in front of my computer and all that because I was just doing that. I used After Effects to do the animation, and I know how to use After Effects, but I haven't actually used After Effects in over a decade. To say I was rusty is an understatement. I mean, I haven't used it in about 15 years. And I had to learn a lot of stuff from the current version of the software. And that was part of it as well. I had a vision. I wanted to do this. How do I execute? So it was a lot of problem solving. That's part of the creative process, the problem solving, trying it out. It's like, oh, it's crap. It's ugly. It doesn't work. It's not doing what I wanted to do. Then you figure out something else. And then, you will hit a wall. You will hit the moment of despair. Numerous times during the process, I'm like, F it. Why am I even doing this? I'm not getting paid. I'm not gonna get. It's not nice anyway. It's not that great. It's so baduy. And I wanted to stop, and I said, no, finish it, do it. I had to push myself, literally push myself. And then one day it was done. One day I put in the last clip, mixed in, faded it out to black, clicked render, and it was done. And suddenly I had a film. And in retrospect, I'm thinking, my assistant directors, they absolutely loved it. So, but maybe that's because they were part of it. But I don't know. But it's there. It was done, and there you go. I have a film. It's done. And now we move on with our lives.
And it was a very renowned, well-loved film, actually. And I just want to lift something.
I don't know. But napaka-ano naman. Then I'm not saying it's well-loved, but there you go.
Anyway, something I want to lift from your answer, actually, is you're a person who says it's okay to take these breaks and it's okay to stop. And I think, for people our age, we're very caught up now in getting things done right away, and we're kind of like, oh gosh, why can't I think when I need to finish this? But you're kind of showing us that it's okay to take these breaks. These stops are sometimes progress, and you really can't force things out, because if you force things out, it might not end up being what you want. It might not be the outcome that you intend. So okay, very important for us students to remember. So our last one from my co-producer of this show, Migoy. Please ask your question. So you can unmute now. Oh, and you're showing yourself.
Hello,
Great.
yeah.
Hi there.
Hello. Yeah, my question is just, I guess because a lot of people saying if you want to learn film, you gotta watch a lot of films. So what are some films or filmmakers that you think people should watch if they want to get into filmmaking?
Okay, let's qualify that first part, that you have to watch a lot of films. Yes, you have to watch, But don't just watch. You have to study. You have to understand. There's a difference between passive watching, just letting the whole thing go past you, and another one. Studying and breaking down and analyzing one film is far more important than watching 10, in my opinion. That being said, you also have to expose yourself to good films. Especially if you're thinking that, oh, I want to do this, I want to be like that, I want to be the next Steven Spielberg or Bong Joon-ho. Then you watch the same films that they watched, it's like that. Syempre, if you watch garbage, then and you don't analyze, you just watch and you accept garbage, what do you produce? There you go. Now, who filmmakers or what films would I say are essential? My God, there's just way too many. But I would say you have to watch Martin Scorsese for its very gritty storytelling and very personal narratives. There's a lot of him in the way he tells his stories. You have to watch Michael Bay. You have to watch Michael Bay. He gets a lot of crap for what he does, but Michael Bay is pure entertainment, and the guy is a master at creating cotton candy. His films may not all his films. I'm not saying his films were worthless. No. His films may not have the substance of Midsommar or Parasite. Diba? It's not, but the sheer talent of the filmmaking. Diba? How do I make a film that people will pay millions of dollars to watch? Michael Bay. Diba? So there's that. You want to watch, of course, the meticulousness of Bong Joon-ho. Every shot deliberate. I would say Sergei Eisenstein, but access to his films are more difficult, no, and the aesthetics are different, man. So there's that. You want to Steven Spielberg for that family, something for everyone type of filmmaking.
Yes.
You want to do Wes Anderson for again meticulousness, but design, how to design a film, how to have a body of work that is so consistent across time. There's that. Wong Kar-wai, those are, you go through that, you study it, analyze, look, feel, color, structure, how do they say things, when do they say things, what do the characters do? That's when it starts to becoming, that's when the watching of the films becomes of value
nice.
to a filmmaker. Diba? But again, I'm not saying that stop watching the Vice Gandas. It's not that. Go ahead, watch it. Pero if you're gonna watch, and if you want to be a filmmaker and you're gonna watch that stuff, then analyze.
Yes.
Don't just sit back in the theater and let the whole thing wash over you. If you're gonna do that, then that's fine. Admit to yourself that I'm watching Vice Ganda, so I know what the people are watching. And then you're gonna let it wash over you. It doesn't work that way. You watch it to analyze, or you let the film, Vice Ganda, Steven Spielberg's, Michael Bay films, MCU films, let it wash over you. It's okay. Enjoy it. That's what it's there for. It's entertainment.
Of course. Of course. Anything to add? Anything to add, or are you okay? I see you hovering over the mic. Okay.
Yes, thank you so much for your answer.
Cool.
All right. So thank you. Time really flies. It's 6:08.
Oh no, you're overtime.
Oh no. Well, it's fine. We learned a lot today, and now we even have a list of directors to look up and to check the work of. I'm going to be watching Michael Bay very differently now. All right. So before we say goodbye properly, and before we invite more people to join your class, I just want to read this funny comment from Tita Twinkie Ladameo again. She said, "Piloso po, ha ha ha. Jag, why are you not in Ateneo?" Hey.
Because it's so far.
Didn't stop me. It didn't stop me.
No,
Just kidding.
little girl. You live now at a time when there are multiple modes of transportation to get to the Arneo. Back in my day, yeah, okay. Like I posted when I shared your link for this show, I had to speak Arneoese. So back in my day, it was, there's no Grab, there's no Angkas, there wasn't even an MRT.
Mm-hmm.
So, sorry, not sorry. Or,
okay.
So there you go.
All right. Well, we will have to leave Zoom in a bit, but before we say goodbye, please allow me to thank a few people first before we thank our audience and our guests. So, this has been New Wave. Thank you to James for handling the broadcast, to Sir Justin for helping us put this episode together. Of course, thank you once again to our audience for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you all next week. Believe it or not, it's June. We're like 50% through the year, and that's just crazy. So thank you to Lynn, Audrey, and Migoy for joining us today. Don't miss out. Follow us on Instagram at newwave.rk to stay updated. Head over to our Facebook page called New Wave and join the Facebook community group on the page for replays, additional content, engagements, and ways you could get featured on the show. So the links will all be placed in the comment section, so go check that out. Catch the replay of this episode and others on Radio Katipunan 87.9 FM's Facebook page, YouTube, and Twitter Live, all of which go by at Radio Katipunan. You can also listen to this episode as a podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Anchor under the name New Wave. But most of all, thank you to our guest, Mr. Jack Garcia, for joining us today. I learned a lot about film and a lot more. I'm sure a lot of people will be interested in taking your class. So the floor is yours to say anything you want. Invite more people. Let's go.
Well, once again, first of all, thanks so much, Max, for having me over and Radyo Katipunan. Sorry, Father, if I rock the boat a bit much. Diba? Be careful what you say. There's a Jesuit watching. And then, but I would like to take this chance to invite everyone to check out the courses on Archipelago. It's artkpelago.com. My course, of course, promises to be fun and informative and interesting. I really hope so. That's production management. Then, of course, there are other amazing mentors online as well with different courses. I saw Gino Cruz with music production. He was making some comments and he liked our Facebook broadcast. So hi, Gino, shout out to you. I mean, we've got amazing writers like Mango Galiaga giving courses. We've got amazing songwriters like Noy Volante and Jim Paredes with music courses. Odi Himoram and Menchu Lauchenko for theater. Grabe. Yes. And it's all online, which really changes accessibility. And I am running now a course in the fundamentals of filmmaking every Saturday workshop. I have students from the US. One is from Hawaii. I have one in Japan, and we're having a blast. So time and place stops becoming an issue. Do check us out, okay? Because the courses are good.
Yes, they are. Okay, before my screen freezes for good, thank you again to Tita Twinkie Lagdameo and Archipelago for helping us with this episode. So once again, I'm Max, and when it comes to what's happening, I'll serve you the facts, and this has been New Wave. We'll see you all next week. Bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
If it's entertainment you crave,
catch us on New Wave.
Surfing through the latest on our shores.
Every Wednesday from 5 to 6 p.m.
See you there.
Radyo Katipunan. News, insights, inspiration. Radyo Katipunan. Down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan. The voice of the Blue Eagle.